And we are live. Welcome, Mystery and Thriller Mavens. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so freaking excited to welcome back New York Times best-selling author, Liv Constantine, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book out tomorrow, Promise Me Never. Liv, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book. Wait, I can't hear you, Lynn. I can't hear you. Can I? Am I the only one who can't hear Lynn? Oh, crap. Okay, let me just see if I can hear. Am I the only one? Okay, let's see it some more. Can you hear everybody? Can you hear Lynn? Let us know in the comments. Okay, I've got my volume on. No, I can't hear you. This is so weird. I just heard her. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can hear you on the okay, Lynn, let me see. I just heard her. Okay, Lynn, let me see. Give me another. You go ahead. On the oh no. Okay, Lynn, let me see. Okay, no one can hear you, Lynn. Log out and come back in. Yeah, log out and come back. Log out. Okay, everybody, hang tight. Liv is having technical difficulties. She will be right back. Everybody, hold tight. She will be right back. We're going to hang tight. Woo, the adrenaline is flowing on Mystery and Thriller Mavens, right? Okay, thank you for letting me know, Alan. Renee, welcome to the conversation. Hi from Southeast Florida. Okay, good. Still no. Okay. Yeah, I think she's having, it was weird because I could hear her a second ago, and we're going to give this just a second. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, she's back. Okay. Woo-hoo. All right, Lynn, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Thank you so much. So Promise Me Never is, I love this book because the characters are very messy but authentic, I think. And we have Savannah, who is dying to become a best-selling author. And she has been going through every method, and nothing has worked. And she is very much in awe of Bennett Bryson, the best-selling New York Times best-selling thriller writer, horror writer, and she gets to meet him at a conference. We've all been to these thriller conferences, and they fall madly in love very quickly. Next thing you know, she's married, living with him in his secluded estate. But then she gets a warning that maybe her husband isn't who she thinks he is, and she could be in danger because his first wife is dead, and there are several women that he dated who are missing. So,
well, I am so excited to get the inside scoop and to grill Lynn in this exclusive author interrogation the night before the book comes out. So we are broadcasting to a record 10 different locations. So listen, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you are watching from, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And our goal is to make Mondays a little less painful and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome, friends. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So get those questions going in the comments, and I will get them right over to Lynn. Robin is joining us from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Hi,
Robin. Renee joining us from Southeast Florida. Welcome. Alan joining us from New York. Welcome. We've got Murder by the Book. Yes. Sharon joining us from YouTube saying, hi, girls. So happy to be here tonight to hear about your new book. Great to have you as always, Sharon. Renee saying happy early pub day.
Thank you.
Happy early pub day, Lynn. Okay, let's jump into some of the questions that were submitted in advance. So first of all, I just want to give a very special shout out to Christina Cook, who is the founder of Bitchy Bookworms, which is the fabulous Facebook group with 176,000 members. Wow. And she says, I always love a Liv Constantine book. I can't wait to read this. And she says she's stuck at work, but she can't wait to watch the replay. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Let's jump in with this question from Nicole. She says, okay, Liv, be honest. Who in Promise Me Never should we trust, and who should we absolutely not trust? Great question, Nicole.
You should trust no one. No one. You can't trust anyone. And maybe Savannah. If I have to pick one person, I'll say Savannah. But only in as much as you can trust anyone who maybe isn't really that sure about their own, neuroses.
So let's start there, Lynn. When you're plotting it out, are you thinking to yourself, how can I write a book where where the readers trust no one, or are you not trusting them? Or tell us more about that.
Well, it depends, but I mean, I try to be as authentic as I can. So when I'm not necessarily having points of view characters lying to the reader, but we have to understand that every character is coming from their own perspective with their own baggage. And so what they may perceive as reality may or may not be the truth. And so it's all going from that perspective. And of course, yes, I want to make it fun for the reader. I don't want it to be totally obvious, but I want to make it genuine, and I want to make it true to character, so that at the end, you can look back and say, okay, I sort of see where that was going. I never want anybody to feel like something came completely out of the blue and made no sense.
Exactly. Because I think that is, I think, one of my biggest pet peeves, and also one of a lot of readers' biggest pet peeves, is you're like, that doesn't really feel like you're playing fair with the reader. Great.
Right.
That's right. Okay. Renee wants to know, follow-up question. She says, do you trust anyone besides your sister?
Well, yes, I trust my husband. Maybe I shouldn't, as we know, husbands don't, but I do, and my children. Yeah, I mean, ironically, I'm a very trusting person for the most part. I feel like I do trust most people. I'm like, oh, people are good that, not in the fictional world, right? I trust no one in the fictional world, and I trust no one that are strangers. Like if I'm at the gym, I could look at someone and think, yeah, that person looks like a serial killer, or what, you know what I mean? I'll ascribe, but people in my life, I do typically tend to trust, maybe a little more than I should, if I'm honest.
Well, speaking of your sister, Lynn, I noticed that you dedicated this book to her, which was so lovely. And for everyone who is watching with us, here is this lovely dedication. It says, for Valerie. So first of all, let's start with the fact that, in case you didn't know, Liv Constantine is a pseudonym for Lynn and her sister Valerie. Hence we have Liv, Lynn and Valerie. And Lynn dedicated this book for Valerie, my best friend and forever my safe harbor.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Now, Lynn, has Valerie ever dedicated a book to you? And if not, will that be a fight at Thanksgiving?
That is so true. You know what? I'm going to bring that up with her. She has not. She is working on a book on her own. And you know what? I think that it's only fair that it is dedicated to me. So I will make sure that I put that request in.
I think you should just wait to see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, bring it up at Thanksgiving, right when everybody's gathered, to make it as awkward as possible.
Yes, I think that's a great plan. I'm going to do that.
I think that you should. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get to the next question. This one is from Susan. She says, was there a character you really loved writing, even though you knew they were making some pretty terrible choices? I'm sorry I can't join for the live. I can't wait to watch the replay later.
Yes, I loved Poppy. I mean, I love all the characters in this book, but Poppy, she's very outrageous and maybe, a little very impulsive, more so than maybe she should be, but I really, really enjoyed it. And so actually though, in Savannah too, Savannah has her insecurities, but what I love about Savannah is I think that everybody has a dream, or most people have a dream, and it's often difficult to attain that. And so she is just so intent on trying to follow this dream despite discouragement from her parents and rejection from everything, but she just continues to keep on keeping on. And sometimes she doesn't make the best decisions either, but I think that could be true for all of us. So.
I am interested to hear. So again, for anyone, just to remind everybody, so we have this is a book is a multiple POVs. So first
Yeah.
chapter is from an anonymous, an unnamed source.
Yeah.
A very intense, starting us off as only live Constantine can with a bang, with a very intense adrenaline surge of a bang. Then we go into Savannah, aspiring author who is working her way up in the publishing industry as an assistant to #1 New York Times bestselling horror author Bennett's agent. So she
Yeah.
works at the agency. So Lynn, as I was reading this, I was like, oh my God, is this perhaps your most personal book? Because it is so immersed in the publishing world. I didn't know this was going to be set in the publishing world. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's how I became published. Was no, just kidding. That's not at all. Yes, I just thought it was fun and interesting. I mean, we all in the publishing world, we go to these conferences, right? And we all know, like I know personally of lots of rejection and what that took. And I just thought it would be fun to play around with the idea of this woman who thinks that she's going to achieve everything that she wants because she's looked at this person who she doesn't really know, right? She's admired. We could all admire authors or whom any sort of public figure that we think, oh my gosh, that person would be perfect for me. But really, what do you know about that person just because you're reading their books? And so it's the same for Savannah. And it's such a whirlwind romance for her that by the time she's married him, she really doesn't know him all that well. And then she does start to see a different side of him, which, right, and the person that she thought was going to be so supportive and helping, and all of a sudden he's a bit critical and a little controlling. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, things are not as they seem, which is what we want, right, in the thriller.
Exactly. And Lynn, this actually made me wonder how well I know you. Because as I was watching Savannah, as I was reading Savannah, admiring this incredible New York Times bestselling author, I was thinking to myself, interesting, because Lynn is a New York Times bestselling author, Reese's book club pick, in case anyone missed the memo. Who's breakout bestseller, The Last Mrs. Parrish, is currently, in the final stages of being adapted into film, starring Jennifer Lopez, directed by the incredible Robert Zemeckis, Academy Award-winning director. And I started thinking to myself, is Lynn telling everyone we don't know her that well? I was like, I want to go to a remote cabin with her.
So you think I'm Bennett Bryson, right?
Listen, I don't know, Bennett.
No.
I mean, Lynn.
Well, and my husband did want to become a best-selling author, but it didn't work out for him.
Wait, is that true?
No, he's like total opposite.
Oh my
God. Just kidding.
Lynn. Yes. Oh my God, his name is yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Fun fact, Lynn's husband's name is Bennett. No, just kidding.
Right.
That would be really funny. Okay. Let's jump into some more of these questions. Monica is joining us from Facebook saying, hi, I love your books.
Thank you, Monica.
Hi, Monica. Welcome to the conversation. And we have Robin, who is laughing about an unnamed source in that first chapter. Wink. Yes, Robin. And of course, that's one of the many twists. Renee wants to know, speaking of that husband, does he read your books? How about your kids? Yeah. Do they read them?
So my husband does. Now he is actually much more into nonfiction, but he will read my books. And so if he likes them, I know, okay, I'm on the right track because it's not his typical genre, but he does do that. But my kids do not read them, especially my daughter, because she feels like any kind of sex, not that my books have a lot of sex in them because they don't, but even anything beyond a kiss, she's like, I can't read anything that my mom writes that would do that. So no, she won't. Now she read, I think, an earlier book. Like I write under Elsie Shaw, right? So they're thriller, conspiracy, they're a little bit more straight arrow. Both my kids have read those, but no, they haven't. But my son's fiance has read my books. So yeah, my kids collect them. I write it out to them. They have them, but they're not reading them.
So I just want to make sure I understand. So your daughter doesn't want to read them because it's too weird for her to read her mom's books, which have not much sex in them, but some.
Yes,
But
exactly.
your future daughter-in-law doesn't mind that.
Exactly. And I adore her. So she's like, because again, they're not, you know my books. That means I'm not writing erotica.
Right. Very, very
So,
but I get it. If it's your mom, you're like, gross, mom, you know what it is to kiss a boy.
yeah. She's just, I'm like, no, Theo, it's not that bad. But she's like, no, I can't do it.
Oh my
And
God,
her
Monica.
friends will read it. The funny thing is her friends, I'll like sign books to give to her for her friends, and she hasn't read them. So she will watch. I mean, we had a couple that have been made into movies. She will watch those. So I'm like, all right, what can you do?
Oh my God, Monica can't stop laughing. Monica, we are laughing with you. Sharon says, you know what? I can understand that. Right, Sharon?
Yeah.
It is, you don't want to think about your mom knowing anything about sex. For all you know, your mom's a nun. And then let's
Exactly.
keep it that way.
Yes.
Renee says, now that is a good fiance that Mr. Nick has landed himself.
Yes.
I love that. Robin is saying, how well do we know Lynn? Exactly. She says, reminds me of way back when I was reading the True Blood series and seeing that sweet author photo of Charlene Harris.
Yes.
Little southern
my God. Yes, that's a treat. You would never ever. And remember, they've had her at Thriller Fest where they've interviewed her. You would never think that she jokes about it. So she's like the grandmom, but she's really got the
Exactly. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Charlene multiple times, and she's so sweet. You have to write the book of your heart.
Yeah.
And then you think about what the book of her heart is, and you're like, interesting. And then you cut a wide berth around her.
That's true. Very true. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get back to some of these questions. This one is from Terry. What was the moment when you thought, oh wow, this story is going somewhere and I did not expect? Great question.
That is a really great question. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there is the final twist in the book, which took it in a completely different direction. And I wasn't expecting it. And it was a thing that actually one of my agent had suggested. And I was like, no, that can't work. I don't think so. She's like, no, I really think it should go this way. And I kept saying it. And then I gave it a little time and I thought, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it could work, but I have to do it like in another way. So
tell us not what it is, but where it is so that we know it when we see it.
It's toward at a bookstore. At a bookstore.
Okay, everybody, remember that.
At a bookstore at the very end. Yes.
Okay, everyone, remember that when you get your mitts on Promise Me and you get to the scene in the bookstore, that was the moment that Lynn said, wow, the story is going somewhere I did not expect. Yes. Terry, thank you for the great question.
Yes.
And speaking of things that are not expected, I want to remind you guys that the book is not even out yet. So Lynn is coming on tonight for Mystery Monday to give us the exclusive inside sneak peek and take all of your most pressing questions live. So wherever you're watching from, that is on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere, you can pre-order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. And tomorrow, the good folks at the bookstore will ship it out to you, and you can immerse yourself in the latest from Liv Constantine. Again, Reese's Book Club pick, New York Times bestseller, about to be a movie starring J-Lo, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Her next book drops tomorrow. Here is that link. Robin says, no cheating. That's right, Robin. No cheating. John is joining us from Northeast Ohio. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
To the conversation. Thank you guys for all of these great questions. And I see everyone over on Instagram too. Don't worry. So hi to Lulu and Bitsy. Hi to Lucas. Hi to Nurse Stacy. So great to have you guys. And again, special shout out to our those watching in the private Facebook groups, Thriller Book Lovers and Bitchy Bookworms. We can't see you, but everyone in your group can. So I hope the discussion is going. You're having fun in there. Okay, this one is from Jillian. She says, Liv, did you know the ending from the beginning, or did the characters completely mess with your plans? Oh, I think she means when you started to write the beginning.
Yes, the characters definitely completely messed with my plans, and it changed. It changed a lot, but it ended up really where I wanted it to go because yeah, it made me happy the way that I was able to change it. So, I thought I had to go one way, and then sometimes that happens. And then again, after a second or third draft, you'll look at it and you'll see a problem and you'll come up with a solution that fixes it. And then it just all falls into place. So I love the way that it ended up, but it definitely changed from the first to the final draft.
Without any spoilers, can you say how it changed, or no? Would that be the spoiler?
I think it might be the spoiler.
No,
Yeah,
don't do it then. Don't do it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you for that great question, Jillian. And thank you for that great question answer. Lynn, Renee wants to know, speaking of that movie, did you write the screenplay, Lynn?
Not yet, but I am writing screenplays. I've written a screenplay for a couple of our earlier books, and I'm working on under Elsie Shaw. I've written a book called The Network, and I've written a pilot for that I'm working with the director. Very hopeful to make into a film. So I didn't write the screenplay though for The Last Mrs. Parrish, by the way. So no, but yeah, I'm moving in that direction as well. So if this were to have interest in film, I think I would be interested in writing a screenplay for it.
I absolutely, I love that. Okay, let's jump into another question. This one, hold on. What do you think readers are going to be talking about the most after they finish your book?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Well, there's one little thing that a lot of people haven't yet talked about, and I'll just say it has to do with AI. So it'd be interesting. I'm interested to know thoughts on that. And hopefully what they're talking about is being, surprised. But I think that hopefully there's some themes of overcoming trauma and resilience, and again, how to live your life and achieve the kind of the dreams and the things that you want, because I think that's the heart of the story, even though that's a thriller and there's crazy stuff going on. And like, this is a little sticker if you come to any of my events where it says yes, so
a little bit closer, Lynn, just so we can
yeah, summer never dies, but someone else might.
Oh my God, so
it's that aspect of it. But yes, but I do think that there are deeper themes there of just family overcoming trauma, kind of becoming genuine and authenticity and being who you are.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I want to talk about some of the advanced reviews that the book received. So let's start with this first one from Tess Gerritsen, who is the New York Times bestselling author of Rizzoli and Isles. And she will be the next author that we interview right here on Mystery and Thriller Mavens for the fifth time, joining us back again. I'm going to pop it up so that we can all read it together. She says, Liv Constantine delivers twist after jaw-dropping twist. Once I started Promise Me Never, I simply could not put it down. Congratulations to that rave review from Tess Gerritsen, and she will be coming on next week for her latest book, The Shadow Friends, which is her latest in the Martini Club series. So congratulations on that rave review. And she is not the only one raving. Caroline Kepnes, who is the New York Times bestselling author of You First, which of course You became the Netflix series. Raving. I loved it so much. My favorite Liv Constantine book yet, with a brilliant twist that I never saw coming. So I actually want to talk about that one because, Lynn, I've had the pleasure of interviewing you 4 or 5, multiple times now. And I think this is absolutely your best work. I noticed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noted. I was like, wow. And I think as writers, we always try to one up ourselves. And I really do think you have done that. What have you learned about craft from your first book to this book, from co-writing with Valerie, your sister, to solo writing this one and the last one? What are your thoughts?
I think one of the things that was a little different in writing this book is, I have a tendency to want to write very quickly and to be, kind of be done. And my agent gave me this dictate where I had finished, I think I was maybe on the second draft, and she said, I want you to take a few weeks and do nothing and think about it and really let it, resonate.
Wait, your agent said this or your editor?
No,
Okay.
my agent before it even got to my editor.
Okay.
And again, they had some ideas that at first I didn't think could work. And I think just taking that breathing room and that little bit of time made a big difference in the way that the book turned out. So I learned, and it is hard for me to slow down. And, I think we're both a little bit like that, right, Sarah, where we're just sort of like,
I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Yeah, right. It's one thing to the next and you're always in motion. Yeah. It's like, okay, stop. Like, just relax, think about it, take your time. And that was really, really helpful in that case, because I think it took it. I think I would have still liked it at the prior version, but it got that much better. It's almost like marinating. Like you could cook a steak, right? And you could cook it right away and it would be good. But maybe if you marinate it for a couple of days, it's going to be even better. And I think that was the difference in this book.
I love a marinade. Exactly. Robin is saying, Tess is coming here soon. Yes, ma'am. She's the next up for our author interrogation. Join us next Monday at 7 p.m. on August 24th. And Tess will give us the inside scoop on her latest book in the Martini Club series. And that, of course, is Shadow Friends. And what a perfect thing to have her blurbing and raving about Lynn's book. And Renee is saying, you mean doing nothing, right? And she wants to know, do you practice yoga or meditate?
I don't do yoga because every time I've tried to do it, then I ended up having to see the chiropractor because it just doesn't work for me. But I do, I have meditated, but I need like a guided meditation. I need like an app that will sort of, I'll tell it, this is what I want to do, and it will take me through it. Yes, I'm working on it. I have a million self-help books that I read a couple chapters and stop, but I'm trying to like read them all the way through now and continue with that. So.
I want to give a shout out to our Instagram peeps. Hi, the crime journalist. Hi, Mari. Hi, Reading Rambo. Hey, guys. So good to have you all. I see you guys all hanging out there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know if you have any questions for Lynn as well. We see you and appreciate you on all of the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We see all of you. Thank you guys so much. Okay, we have a few more questions we received in advance. I think we probably only have time for one more, but let me end with this one from Carol. If you could tell us just one thing about Promise Me Never that would make us all immediately want to start reading it tonight, what would it be? What a fun question.
That's a great question. I would say, what would you do if your partner had a room in the house that was locked and you were not allowed to enter it? Would you try to break into it or not?
I am going to say I would. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I was already halfway to the door. I was already rattling the door. What about you, Lynn? Would you have the restraint? I wouldn't, right?
Oh, forget about it. No, I would totally break into the room. I would, I would make sure he was out like somewhere, distracted. And I would get in that room right away. I wouldn't wait.
Oh my God. This is reminding me. Did you ever watch Friends where Monica's messy room? She had that secret messy room.
No, I loved Friends, but I never saw Monica had a messy room.
She had a secret closet that was like a complete and utter hoarder's paradise.
And that's hilarious. No, I never saw. I'm going to look for that now. But I would. But I will say that Savannah has some patience. But I mean, that secret forbidden room, it's a little Bluebeard inspired, I will say. So any of you liked Bluebeard as a child?
Oh my God, I loved it. I watched it so many times. Yes, exactly. And we can all discuss in the chat, if your partner had a secret locked room, would you be able to resist opening it? Neither Lynn nor I could possibly resist. No. Other people are raving about the book as well. Catherine Stedman, New York Times bestselling author of 9 Lives, saying Constantine does it again, mixing fast-paced plot with tense, dread-filled suspense. Part Bluebeard myth, that's why I knew I had to get to this one. Part Fatal Attraction, Promise Me Never, is a stay up all night. Who's conning who? Page Turner. So speaking of Bluebeard, had to get to that blurb as well, Lynn Constantine. See, it's like we're vibing, right?
Yes, we are.
here is that rave review from Catherine Stedman, and Robin is saying no deal breaker, open the door. Exactly. Renee is weighing in. I'd break it down. Exactly. I want to hear from everybody else. I want to hear from Alan and some of the men in the chat as well. Let us know. What about you guys?
The women, we should have our own space, but I don't think the men should, honestly.
Yeah. What about you, Alan? What about you, John Hebert? Let us know in the comments. Everybody else watching. All right, we are out of time. Time flies when you're having this much fun. So whether you're watching with us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, mystery and thriller loving friends, my mavens, be sure you pre-order your copy of Promise Me Never. And we will, and let us know what you think. As always, the really good conversation about the book after it comes out takes place in Mystery and Thriller Mavens, the Facebook group. So free and open to all. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat for that. If you're not already a member, once you read Promise Me Never, you can come over and we can and discuss after discuss the post-mortem as we might in Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope your week is off to a killer start. And I'm just going to drop that purchase link one more time in the chat. Lynn, thanks so much for spending.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you, everybody, for joining. This was great.
The night before. Thanks so much for spending the night before pub with us. And a very happy pub day to you. All right, Mavens, I hope your week is off to a killer start. I will see you next week with Tess Gerritsen. Stay well, and may the pages and days fly by until then.
Bye, everyone.